If you're a die-hard Marvel fanatic, you've probably seen the 10-second cameo appearance of a well-known figure in the second installment of the Iron Man franchise. That scene is where the technopreneur/billionaire/playboy Tony Stark shook hands with a finely dressed gentleman who is often regarded as the real-life version of Iron Man, and his name is Elon Musk. From his humble beginnings in South Africa all the way into the heart of Silicon Valley, Elon Musk's relentless pursuit to harness the power of technology for the betterment of humanity has made him a modern-day superhero, just like the titanium-built comic-based iconic character. He's a maverick pioneer and an industry disruptor who has challenged convention by always creating something out of thin air that addressed alarming financial and environmental issues. Over the years, Musk has established and launched multiple companies in various industries, and in return, these companies struck lucrative deals with other huge businesses and splashed out tons of money that eventually made Elon one of the few billionaires walking in the face of the world right now. Now, are you wondering how he was able to amass such wealth? Well, lucky for you, you don't have to bring out the thinking chair on this one, because in this video, we will take a look back on his early struggles and delve deeper into his major entrepreneurial endeavors to see how the 49-year-old tech visionaire has managed to build his $128 billion empire. Before we continue, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Young and bright. Elon Reeves Musk grew up in the highly urbanized city of Pretoria in South Africa. His father Errol was a Swiss Army type of guy who worked as a pilot, electromechanical engineer, consultant, and property developer. Meanwhile, his Canadian-born mother, May, was a nutritionist and a famous model in South Africa. He was the eldest among the Musk siblings that included a sister named Tosca and a younger brother named Kimball. As an introverted kid, the nerdy Elon would bury and surround himself with books. He's such a voracious reader that he would pick up any reading that he can get his hands on, from comic books, science fiction novels to literary masterpieces. So much so that he even finished reading the Encyclopedia Britannica from cover to cover at just age 9. Elon had undergone a sad chapter in his early life when his parents had separated around the same age. He chose to live with his father, a decision he later regretted as he did quite have a sour relationship with him, whom he described as a terrible human being. At age 10, he developed an interest in coding using the Commodore VIC-20 and received one of the highest aptitudes for computer programming for someone his age when he got tested by the tech giant IBM. Elon scored his first $500 when he sold Blastar to PC and Office Technology magazine by age 12. Blaster is a space shooter video game that he coded out of boredom, citing that he's too far advanced compared to his computer teachers and just simply way ahead of the curve. To avoid the mandatory military service in South Africa, Elon Musk set his sights on heading west to settle in America, a land that he said will give him great opportunities and a viable future. After obtaining a Canadian passport, Elon packed his bags and flew to the north of the border against his parents' wishes. Upon arriving in Canada, Elon stayed with his cousins and did odd jobs like vegetable farming, sawing logs in a lumber mill, and accepting a gig as boiler room cleaner, which paid him about $18 an hour. He settled in Queen's University in 1989 before he left for university in Pennsylvania in 1992, where he got a business and engineering degree. In 1995, Musk received a PhD scholarship program at Stanford University. But before he even got started at Stanford, he dropped out just 2 days after enrolling and decided to join the internet revolution that was about to happen just a few blocks away in Silicon Valley. Elon's first millions. With $2,000 in his pocket, Elon tried his luck and entered the 90s internet gold rush when he and his brother founded Global Link Information Network. Kimball chipped in $5,000, while another friend named Greg Curry shed out $8,000 to help with the startup costs. Finally, Elon's almost estranged father contributed $10,000 to round up the initial funding. Musk had this idea that local businesses should be easily accessible to computer users. To simply put, he wants to put the big and bulky Yellow Pages book that contains the list of store names and their respective addresses all over the internet. Think of it as the early precursor of Google Maps and Yelp. Musk was able to persuade Navtech, a company that provides navigable maps, to give him the mapping software for free. Despite this, Elon and Kimball struggled financially as additional funding from investors were still not coming through. To keep their expenses low, they turned their small office into their living quarters, taking turns sleeping on the couch while they showered in the local YMCA gym. It was so bad that they could only afford to buy one computer at a time, meaning that Elon had no choice but to code during nighttime just to make sure that the website runs impeccably during the day. After working round the clock, their efforts were paid off when More Davidoff Ventures invested $3 million in their startup company and officially changed its name to Zip2. With a newly installed cash pipeline, Zip2 began to offer its web services to newspapers and media outlets, allowing them to create local directories for their online subscribers. Success followed soon after when they landed a big fish in the New York Times, as well as Knight Ridder and the media conglomerate Hearst Corporation. In 1999, Zip2 was bought by the Compaq Corporation to be part of their search engine Alta Vista for $307 million. After the acquisition, Musk walked away with $22 million, while his brother had a fair share of $15 million for being one of the original founders of Zip2. At just 28 years old, Elon Musk became one of the youngest millionaires in Silicon Valley. With that kind of money, Elon could have simply bought a private island and just lived there in peace. But deep down inside, settling down doesn't interest him that much, and the inspiring innovator believes that there are far greater things ahead that he must accomplish. Wireless transfer. The financial sector had not seen any innovation in years. With the aid of internet technology, Elon Musk was bold enough to introduce a new way of revolutionizing how people receive and send money. Using $10 million from his Zip2 earning as starting capital, Elon Musk founded X.com. The aim of the startup was to make electronic cash transfer possible within a few clicks, thus eliminating the process of writing checks between the exchanging parties, which could take several days. Despite clashing heads with a rival company named Confinity, the real enemy at the backdrop was eBay. To bring down the e-commerce giant, X.com joined forces with Confinity and formed PayPal. PayPal eventually became the leading payment system in the world, and just like his previous venture, the competition bought out his firm, but this time in a much heftier price tag, in the tune of $1.5 billion by eBay. As the company's largest shareholder, Musk received a total of $165 million. Now, at 30 years old, Elon had just added a couple of zeros to his bank account. Mission to Mars. Ever since he was young, Elon knew that he's destined for something greater, something far bigger than just creating a company and eventually selling it to a bigger company. Something far bigger than putting the newspaper industry into the digital space or changing a century-old financial system. As a book lover, one of the things that piqued the interest of Musk was the concept of outer space and interplanetary voyage. He firmly believes that in order for us to combat global threats and avoid the possible extinction of the human race, we must conquer other planets with ample life support systems so that we can survive in the generations to come. Musk sees the planet Mars as the most viable candidate for colonization. He first flirted with the idea of sending a mini greenhouse containing plant seeds to analyze the life-sustaining ability of the Martian soil. He then went to Moscow to purchase cheap rockets for the eventual send-off, but it turns out that the Russians' price offer was just really expensive at the time. On a return flight to the US, Musk realized that he can make affordable rockets by streamlining its manufacturing process. So, in 2002, he founded a fully privatized aerospace company called Space Exploration Technologies, or simply known as SpaceX. After several failed attempts in putting a commercially made rocket into orbit, SpaceX made history when the Falcon 1 finally burst through the Earth's orbit on its fourth attempt. In 2008, they secured and got awarded a CRS contract by NASA for 12 cargo resupply missions to their International Space Station, amounting to $1.6 billion. Fast forward to 2018, SpaceX had almost 100 successful launch missions, which equates to $12 billion in contract revenue. New source of energy. After successfully building SpaceX using hard-earned wealth, Elon shifts to another global problem that he wants to address, and that is our dependency on the usage of fossil fuels to produce energy. To solve this one, Musk tapped his cousins Lyndon and Peter Rive and suggested they enter into the renewable energy market. When his cousins agreed, Elon helped them by funding Solar City. The company focuses on developing, selling, and installing solar panels and solar roof tiles into American homes. Aside from this, he also delved into another ambitious project when he helped to launch Tesla using $6.5 million from his own pocket. Tesla, on the other hand, aims to provide affordable, elegant-looking, high-performance electric cars that use clean energy to the regular folks. To penetrate the crowded automobile industry, Tesla initially targeted rich buyers at the high-end market and then later on trickled down to the mid and lower markets by providing a variety of new models at a cheaper cost. Their Model 3 car series was universally recognized as the best-selling electric car in history, with over 500,000 units sold. Meanwhile, Solar City got absorbed by Tesla in 2016 in a merger and continues to align its vision for a sustainable future with Tesla's line of products. As of this year, Tesla's market capitalization has increased by a staggering amount of more than $500 billion. To infinity and beyond. Elon Musk recently became the second richest man in the world after his net worth experienced an exponential spike from $7.2 billion to $128 billion, surpassing software mogul Bill Gates in the process. Aside from these massive companies, Musk still has plenty of time to pursue other noteworthy ventures that continue to break barriers like Neuralink, the Hyperloop, and the Boring Company. As an exemplary visionary with a reputation for being an indefatigable workhorse, the future of humankind definitely looks bright with Elon Musk at the frontier in the next generation of technological advancement.